All right, what's up? What's up, guys? How y'all doing? It's Josh back with another video. You know what I'm saying? I got another tech talk going on, and you guys already know I had to bring my man Professor Black Ops back. He's always putting in work on his channel. Helping people get into cybersecurity as well as AWS, and that's gonna be the major topic for today. I'm excited about it, man, because I'm interested in learning the cloud a little bit more as far as AWS go, and I know that's something that Professor Black Ops is really honing in and pushing that content or centered around AWS. So I wanted to bring him on. I'm excited about it. Let me give a couple shout outs to everybody that's in the building right fast. What's up, lovely angel lady, my lovely wife? Good to see you. Adrian Nash, good to see you. Good to see you. I'm happy you guys are here. And if sitting in the clouds, just go on in and give a like as well as speak, you know what I'm saying? So we can know you there. And also if you feel compelled, go on share the video on your various social media platforms if you can, so we can get more people in the building or whatever. And I always forget to say that, you know what I'm saying? But um I remember this time, so if you guys can just go on and share it for me, if you can. But what's up, Professor Black Ops? What's happening, man?
I'm glad to be here, man. Just trying to get motivated on a Saturday, man. I'm glad you shared your platform with me, and it's my third time here, so I know third time's the charm. Man.
Oh
Third
yeah,
time's the
definitely.
charm. Man.
Definitely. And I'm gonna switch it up a little bit in the beginning. First off, let me share Professor Black Ops channel, because I want you guys to really go support his channel. Like I said, he's doing great things over there on his channel. He's someone I really respect, you know what I'm saying? Someone I actually look up to because he's been in government just like I'm still kind of uh kind of keeping myself going and working for the DOD, and he's done so much in the field, you know what I'm saying, and just working with different companies and the Department of Defense and all that good stuff, security clearances. So I got no choice but to look up to him, you know what I'm saying. He's definitely done a lot, and so I'm definitely want to support him, share his channel. But check out his channel. I put the link in the description of the video. I mean, as well as in the chat. I'm gonna also pin it up there. But go ahead, Professor Black Ops. Go on and introduce yourself, man.
Thank you. My name is Professor Black Ops. A lot of people know me, but I've been in the game for 30 plus years. Like my man said, I've done everything. I've been a junior programmer, DBA, web admin, application admin. Right now, I do security. I'm a consultant. I've been a consultant for 20 years. I worked at DOD for 11 years. Like my man said, now I work for a large government agency for the state of Indiana. Putting in that work, even though I'm old, I got to grind and get those new skills. So that's why I've been really pushing AWS. We know that's the next bag, the next biggest cloud, and they paying all the people all the money. So
Oh
that's why I'm
yeah,
trying to get those skills.
yeah. Yep. Now let's start it off the right way, because I hear people talk about AWS and all that stuff. That you can get, these huge salaries and all that stuff if you go right into it. Now, is AWS considered entry level?
No, you know the answer to that. That was rhetorical.
Oh,
That
I
is
know.
no. No, I pick it up. No, because when you go on AWS, I mean, you can have entry level skills that a company lets you work in AWS. But when you talking about big money, you talking about engineers, DevSecOps, DevOps, and those type of jobs where you got about at least 5 or 7 years. Because when a company moves to the cloud, they putting all their resources and all their intellectual property and all their business up in the cloud. That's super risky. So you're not going to give that to an entry level person. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, and I knew that. I just wanted to
I,
ask you because I always hear people, it seems like they marketed it to new people that have never worked in the tech field, but you need to have some baseline understanding of technology before you start trying to hop into one of these and applying for these positions. And I've
Right.
seen people get disappointed. Oh, I got my
Mhm.
AWS cert. I got this cert right here for AWS,
Mhm.
but I can't find a job doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like you said, because you're gonna need some experience. And when you talking about architects, people putting their company online, when you push it up in the cloud, or even if you spinning up new businesses in the cloud, they want you to have experience, right? And
Mm-hmm.
shout out to your course. One of the experiences you need is Linux. A lot of Linux is run up in AWS. If you look up EC2, we get into it. Amazon's got their own version of Linux that they're for in Red Hat. So you need to understand Linux before you start spinning it up in the cloud and talking
Mm-hmm.
about networking up in the cloud. A lot of that's ran on top of Linux too. So
Cool, cool. Yeah, I 100% agree, man. That's one of the, I guess, the things I try to market with that course. I'm glad you brought it up. But yeah, if you guys are interested in learning Linux, I do have a Linux course that's out there. So you guys, it's free, 100% free. You guys can go through it and just basically get you a base understanding of how to use Linux. But yeah, man, that's definitely needed in the cloud and as far as getting into it. But um i'm I'm glad you kind of broke it down that way, as far as it not being somewhat of an entry level position. Where do you think people should like start if they want to get into cloud or AWS or working with one of these cloud technologies, as far as uh getting a job in
yeah,
general?
yeah, I think we should start at the at the basics too. It depends on where you
Where
at
you
in
are.
the your skills, but I always tell people start off with Tech G or my man Master IT. They teaching ITF fundamentals. They teaching Network Plus. Right. Then two is from my because I'm old, either you're gonna be an admin, a network guy, or a programmer, right? Those are kind of the baseline skills
Mm-hmm.
when you become a junior person. You kind of pick one of those paths. Then shout out to women in Linux. You just start stacking your skills, right? So if
Yeah.
you're a programmer, you connected to a database, you start picking up database skills. That's how I was. And once I got good at the database, I was like, well, I need to understand Linux because the database running Linux and we're doing SFTP servers. We're moving files around with core and shell. That's automation scripts in the 80s, if you're not aware of core and shell. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how the old school where we had automation did. Once of that, then I start spinning up my own web servers, IIS or Apache. Then you just start after year, you just stacking your skills and stacking your skills. Shout out to Tam, I see her in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's definitely, stacking your skills. Right. Then two is like you said, Linux is definitely for me one of the base operating system. I'm an Oracle guy. It runs best on Linux. So I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing Linux for, oh my God, for 25 years. So and back then the threading's better and we could get more into technical stuff, but that's how you stack your skills. And there's just a lot of great channels out here. And like I said, shout out to Tim, shout out to you. There's just a lot of people
Yeah.
where you can get those base skills to start stacking them and getting that knowledge you need.
Exactly, and I 100% agree. And shout out to women in Linux. Definitely, you got to stack those skills. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You got to get in there and start. But
Facts, man.
yeah. So shout out to you, Tam, as well as women in Linux. Make sure you guys go check out their channel as well. They be putting in the work, putting out great information as
Facts, man.
well. They be covering some stuff that I be
Oh my
learning
God.
from. You know what I'm saying, with the
Oh, facts,
with the
facts.
stocks and stuff, and
Oh yeah, man.
they
They
be
be
putting
giving out
out.
some information. I ain't got that much time in the
Yeah,
day, but shout out to them. But
yeah.
shout out because me, you, and Tim gonna get together and do some automation on top of Linux, man. We're gonna do
Okay.
this trifecta thing coming up. I'm putting her out there because she's in the box, but I
Yeah.
think we should do a trifecta experiment and do some labs online and make that
Hmm.
happen.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And I see Adrian. And I hope I'm saying your name right, Adrian Nash. Yes, my course is very beginner friendly. I start from the basics. I basically cover the like how it was actually created, and then I go into the install, how to actually install it, and then cover the basic usage, and then go further from there. So it is a beginner friendly course. So, but just check it out. It's free. Watch the first you know 15 minutes of it, and if it's good, you know what I'm saying, you want to keep watching it, just go through it. And it's also made to where you can kind of follow along with exactly what I'm doing. So appreciate it, appreciate it.
Facts,
Um,
facts. I looked at some of it. It's great info. So
appreciate it.
I'm endorsing it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Professor Black
appreciate it.
Ops endorsing the course. Go check it out. Go ahead.
Appreciate it, appreciate it. So, what got you into wanting to um cover AWS? Because you know there's, I mean, we know that there are
Mhm.
multiple cloud
Right,
platforms out there. So I just
right,
wanted to
right.
see what made you focus in on AWS.
For two reasons. The number one, it's the biggest. I'm not gonna say it's the best. It had an 11, 12 year run before everybody else started. Then on top of that, the government is making a big push, and a lot of big pushes in the AWS. And I do a lot of security reviews for software that comes in this agency. So I review all the software and vendors, and 80% of those were actually running on AWS. So since I'm
Okay.
talking to vendors and I got to review their security to make sure we don't get hacked, I'm like, I need to get a little bit better at AWS. Because, if you done networking on prem, networking in the cloud is similar, but it's a little different, right? You spinning up EC2 on Linux. I've done that on prem, but it's just a little different in the cloud because Amazon's controlling a lot of that if using software as a service. So how do you check the security on that? How do you get the documents on that? How do I say to my vendor and my C-suite, the security of this is good to run in this agency. So that's
Hmm.
one the main reason that made me get into AWS and security. And the other thing too is security with AWS. That's a big bag. I'm 53. I got 10 more years so, before I slide into retirement. So
Yeah.
I was like, let me get these skills. I think this will be my last 10 years, and I can pass the torch to Tam, and she can keep running. I got about another decade, and I'm shutting it down. But go
Yeah. Yeah.
ahead.
I got you. I got you. So let me ask you this then. Since you brought up the government using AWS,
Mhm.
I kind of had betted my money on them using Azure more. And the reason I
Mhm,
say that
mhm.
because most organizations they have a Windows environment, and especially if
Facts,
we're
facts.
talking about you know, the
Mhm,
Department of Defense and all that stuff, whatever.
mhm.
So do you think they are leaning more towards AWS?
If you look, and I think Tim mentioned that, I think people are going to do multi-cloud. They like
Yeah.
Azure, especially for the Office 365, because you get your email in the cloud, you get that
Hmm.
extra security. But a
Exchange is
lot,
so much
yeah,
easier up there.
yeah, in the cloud, yeah. But the thing I noticed is the hardcore guys were running on Linux, and they just Microsoft at first were behind on AWS until your boy became president. So a
Yeah.
lot of them, and you got to remember, AWS got a 12-year head start
Hmm.
before anybody else did another cloud. So a lot of the earlier adopters, even in the government, were moving to AWS first. So I think, like Tim says, it's going to be a multi-cloud strategy, and a
Okay.
lot of vendors I see is doing that. Like the agency I am, they got the old 365, then a lot of their vendors got AWS, so they run a VPN between them and
Okay.
stuff. But the reason why I said that was really is they got the 12-year head start, and a lot of people were moving to the cloud 12 years ago before Azure really got ramped up and really got going.
Hmm. I got you. I got you. So they kind of dropped the ball and was behind
Well,
in
I
the
remember Larry
adoption a
Ellison
little
for
bit.
Oracle teased AWS. He said it was a toy.
Hmm. Oh,
If you go
okay.
back, Oracle was just crapping all over him. So it's a toy. Nobody's
Wow.
ever going to run that in the cloud. Nobody trusts the security. And I
Hmm.
think Microsoft felt the same way for a little while. Because if you go back, even Bezos said he was surprised he got a 12-year head start before people goes, oh, this is serious. Let's try to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. And so do you recommend now? Speaking of multi cloud strategy, do you
Mhm.
think is best people learn, or hop into all the other different cloud platforms
Yeah,
and go through courses and training for
yeah.
them as well?
Yeah, I'm just old, so I pick one thing, but my goal is to be very, very good at AWS. And I
Hmm.
at least, because some of my vendors coming in with Azure, so I got to at least understand it at a high level to ask the appropriate questions. So yeah, I think you
Yeah.
should be fluent in our strategies. And like you and Tim, y'all do Ansible, which will run on any cloud,
Oh
right?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's cloud on us. I'm trying to do cloud formation because I'm trying to learn everything AWS. But
Hmm.
but in the future, you got to have a understanding because most of those cloud principles are the same.
Yeah.
Amazon is EC2, Azure got something that matches that. They got this for, so you're just spinning up VMs in the cloud. Naturally, now how they do it technically is a little different, but I think
Hmm.
basically if you get the basic cloud strategy, you can switch to any cloud.
Now let me ask you this, since and this kind of ties to what we was just talking about with multi-cloud. Um what are your thoughts on the CompTIA Cloud Plus cert? Because I
Well,
know that's
I
not
mean,
vendor specific.
right. And I think that's good, especially if getting the basics of the cloud. And two is, man, we had this conversation, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna mess this number up. 8570 takes CompTIA for you to work on the government, so that cert's always good for me. I know other
Yeah.
people in this sphere has issue with that. My thing is, if you could get a job with it in the government,
Hmm.
it's okay by me. Now I agree there might be some certs better, but once again, if you can get a job 8570 with a certain cert, that cert's good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. And shout out to Pete Freeman. I see you in the building. He says you need a hybrid strategy these days. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you guys. And before the billions, good to see you, man. And oh, and shout out to Mr. Awesome. I see you, bro. I see you, man. And I appreciate you coming through last night for the terrible tutorial on setting up a
That's the
VPN server.
no
Well, I
man.
didn't finish it. No, but I actually stayed on after I got off live and finished it. So, but next time I do it, I'm gonna use the script because there's a script out there
Nah.
that
I
allow you
like
to
that,
knock it
man,
out.
because that shows you real life. Everything don't go where it's supposed to
Yeah,
be. That's
yeah.
real life. A lot of people when they do these online thing, they done did it 4 times and worked all the bugs. Real life, man, stuff happens, man. You
Oh
gotta
yeah,
figure out how to fly,
yeah,
and you might have to come back tomorrow. So
yeah.
shout out to you, man. That's real life. That's real life.
Yeah, hey, and that's true because like some of these tutorials, I'll mess up the server and I have to rebuild it or something, and
Man.
then start re-recording the video. You know what I'm
No
saying?
fact.
So that happens. We
That's
not
why I do all
perfect.
my stuff. That's why I do all my stuff in AWS. I just spin up another VM and keep it pushing.
Yeah, yeah,
Spin
definitely.
up a VM, keep it pushing. Go ahead.
Yep, definitely. And shout out to Master IT. He said shout
Facts
out
out.
to Josh PBO. Salute to you both. Yeah, salute to you,
Facts out.
man. And if you guys want to learn some entry level certs, make sure you go check out Master IT. He's a member of the channel. I definitely appreciate you doing that, man.
Yeah,
Salute to you.
facts.
Yep.
I always tell people go check out Master IT. His course is good. Dig in your pocket. Don't be cheap, man. He ain't
Yeah.
charging a lot. If you want to be good, it costs to be good in this business. It costs to be good. Go ahead, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's worth it, you know. So
Facts.
yep. I mean, if you gotta look at it this way, if you want to be successful in the future, you gotta invest in your future. You know what
Gotta
I'm
invest in
saying? So
yourself.
yep, invest in yourself. Exactly. Now, um, so as far as I've been going through your playlist of your different videos and all that stuff. Just talk about specifically kind of what you cover
Mhm.
in the AWS fundamentals for Basics Cloud
Yeah.
playlist that you have.
Right. If you look at AWS certifications, the base foundation is the practitioner, right? So I said to myself, I'm gonna start with the base. So I did my slides as I was studying for the practitioner test. Practitioner is gonna go through the main services in the basic service of AWS, the EC2, S3 bucket. Two is how do they charge? They got different charge levels. They got some kind of well architected environment. So they give you these pillars of what you need to do to build a correct AWS instance, right? So that's in the practitioner. So since I was studying that, I was like, let me go ahead and make videos for that. So when people ready to take the test, like I said, I teach in real life. A lot of people don't know I'm a professor in real life. So I just did some slides and I just created them like I was doing a class for somebody else, right? So I did it more of as a lecture style. So that's once again that's why I did it. Like we talked about, I'm reviewing software for vendors in AWS, so I thought this would be a good way for me to learn and for me to help other people learn
Mm-hmm.
AWS and just be a resource to the community. right? We know there's good channels and there's multiple people doing AWS. So I just wanted to add a couple videos to, some good content that's out there already.
Cool, cool. Yeah, and that's kind of how my channel came about as well. Like,
Mm,
I mean, I was learning Linux, you know what I'm saying? And
mm,
so my my videos in the beginning, I was actually learning this stuff. I wasn't no expert, and I even let people know that I was learning this, you know what I'm saying? That I
right.
mean, we all don't know everything, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? That's the way that actually reinforces the information
mhm.
by going through it and creating these videos and creating this content and learning it. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
definitely
100%. Like
salute
you
to
said, it
you.
reinforced it. Shout out to Bentley. Yep, the 6 storage of S3 is in there. So yeah, it's like you said, when you teach other people and learn, and people were asking me questions. If I didn't know them, I had to research them. So that
Hmm.
helps you learn. Like I said, while I'm getting ready to take my entry level test to start on once again my AWS journey. Tim's got me thinking of being an SRE, which is a site reliability engineer.
Hmm.
So I'm just once again, I'm 53. I ain't got much time, so I'm trying to pick one career and get this last 10 years
Yeah.
done. So, shout out to Tam, site
Yeah.
reliability engineer. But so that's what made me do AWS. Like I said, I do a lot of security reviews, and most of the vendors we had coming in was doing AWS. So
Okay.
and my boss was looking at me, so I was like, I got to get these answers, and so I can chop it up with the vendors, talk about um, encryption at rest, encryption at transit, TLS, all that good stuff. A lot of people don't realize big cloud vendors, they have government clouds that only have government agencies in them, right? They don't want to commingle with the regular people. So I just picking up and learning all that, and just once again
Hmm.
trying to get better at my skill set because B2B, he in 20, I think he's 26. So I'm trying to give him a baton so he can run with it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Hey, so I know by you, you know, learning about AWS, I know you have looked in the type of jobs. So I
Mhm.
wanted to, hop in. Let's talk about the bag. Like once you
Facts,
got the
facts,
skills,
facts.
what kind of jobs can people, get into using
The weird thing is most of the jobs you got on site, they just kind of move to the cloud with like a
hmm.
different name, right?
Yeah.
Site reliability engineer. I mean, really is an architect that just makes sure it's up and down. DevOps, is a different term.
Yeah.
Developers, they help set it up and do some of the back end. I mean, if you look at them, a lot of those jobs, like I said, they just move to the cloud. Like I said, the cloud is moved a little different because Amazon handles a lot of those back end functions for you, but you still got to configure it. You still got to figure where you're going to put your DR site, how big you want it to be, how big you want your database. Do you want it spread one on the East and one West Coast? Architects and people have to make those decisions, right? So, once again, I think a lot of those jobs just move from on-prem to the cloud.
Hmm.
Just a little different, but
Now, or
pays a
the
little better in the cloud too. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, or and that's exactly what I was gonna ask you. So, do you think that like the pay scale, like okay, so if you get into cybersecurity,
Mhm.
this is kind of a pay scale on prem. When you get into networking, this is kind of pay scale on
Mhm.
prem. Does it kind of follow that same thing in the cloud as far as the
I
different areas? Just a little bit more money on top of it, basically,
Yeah, I
or
say a lot more money on
well, a
top
lot
of it. The
more.
reason why is like we talked about, most people don't have those cloud skills, and there's rare.
Hmm.
Where Linux is rare, but I can find those guys. When you talk about Linux EC2 on the cloud that understands all of that setting up in the cloud with the VPC, those guys are rare. And the one reason they're rare is the cloud vendors are sucking all those guys up to work for AWS and
Yeah.
Google and Azure already. Then right behind that, the big consulting guys are sucking those guys up. So if you're trying to find guys to work for your firm with those skills, they're hard to find.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. It seems like they are doing a lot of recruiting with the for the people,
Yeah.
with the skills and everything.
And like two of my buddies I used to work with on DOD, they're gonna be on my channel. I think they're site reliable engineers. Like I said, they just grabbing guys and just just taking them. And if they think you're good or somebody give you a recommendation, man, you be off and running. And one of my homies work for Google now in
Mm-hmm.
security. He said from a federal side, they can't find people.
Okay.
So
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, shout out to a couple more people I see coming in before the billions. AB Media, what's good, man? How you doing? McKinley Bentley, what's up? What's up? He says, yes, man. Y'all channels are some gems. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, and Master, just like Master IT said, like the video. Uh, I don't like asking people for money, but join the channel.
facts.
Shoot me a super chat or cash app or even send it to PBO. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you put your information out there. If
I'm
because
like you. If I get it, I don't ask for it a lot,
yeah,
man. Tam, my biggest donor, Big Money Tam, hit me one time. I went and got a little steak and got a little fatter, man. But besides that, I'm like you. I just put out content and try to help the community. What
exactly.
did I say, PBO? Let me know what I got to be careful about before the billions coaching me up.
Yeah.
That's why I need PBO. I be saying stuff I shouldn't be saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat, but go ahead. Yeah, I'm like you. What I get. I probably do memberships probably later on this year, man. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure I'm giving the community what they need. You
Mm-hmm.
got a long time in the game. I'm trying to still build my little YouTube portfolio up. So
For sure, for sure. Yeah. And also we here. What's
shout
up,
out.
man? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, like the video if you guys can.
One
I
of my
definitely
bigger
appreciate it.
supporters, man. When I do a video, she gonna give me the okay on my video. So
Yeah,
shout out to
yeah.
she, man.
He gonna
He
let
be
you know we
supporting.
here.
Yeah, facts, 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 facts,
My
facts.
man. But okay, so um as far as the fundamentals course or not the fundamentals course but the fundamentals certification, um
Mm-hmm.
can you kind of cover like a little bit more of what's
Yeah,
being talked about or what
yeah,
you need
I
to
can do it.
know in order to pass that cert?
Yeah, yeah, I could do that. It's like I said, it's basic. They're giving you the basic servers you should use and the basic services you should use. They talk about the 5 level supports they have, so it's real basic, but it's a lot of information to what they think is well architected. What you need to do for business people, what you need to do for technical people, what you need to do for your C-suite. So they kind of go through it from a basic step of kind of what you need to do. S3 is big in there, EC2 big on there, of course, their databases. And I was surprised they got like 30 offerings of databases. So they talk
Mm-hmm.
about the big four, right? Relational database, which is my favorite, document, DynamoDB. Then they talk about they got a Bitcoin like database for the back end. So they got a wide offering and everything. So they touch on each one of those offerings. So they want you to understand those services before you start using those services. And
Mm-hmm.
two is which one different pay scales. Like one is on demand and you can reserve a server or you can do a spot instance where if that server is available, you can get them at a cheaper rate and you can use them for like half a day. So which services from a money perspective should you use? So they go
Mm-hmm.
through all those resources. I was surprised when I started going like, oh wow, they got a lot of stuff going on in
Yeah.
AWS.
Yeah, and I did a course, and this was like 2 years ago. I actually contacted the person that created the course. It was a lady. I think she worked for the Linux Foundation, and I follow her on Twitter. But she made an awesome course on AWS, breaking down the pricing and all that stuff. It was a AWS fundamentals course, basically like what
Yeah.
you're saying. And oh, go ahead.
No,
You
you
wanted
got
that?
it. I'm just
Oh,
shaking my head. It'd be a lot
yeah.
going on. When I
Oh,
started
yeah.
getting it, I thought it was gonna be a little more basic. I'm like, ooh, this
Yeah.
is like medium basic.
Yeah. Now, as far as training though, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, um, and that's the thing. I have an AWS account. Don't use it. Is
Mhm.
it cheap for people to just spin up stuff up there to
Yeah,
train?
yeah, yeah. Especially if you just started your first year, most of their service they have a free tier because they want you to learn. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really I shouldn't say that. I actually ran a company for a year and a half on their free tier.
Okay.
So because AWS is so big, they free tier. I think I can get like 5 gig of information. No, like five. It was like a terabyte of information. It was a crazy amount. Like,
Wow.
dude, I can run 20 companies on that. So
Yeah.
their free tier is so big because it's Amazon. So I would say 90% of their services you get a free tier that you can run for a year.
Okay.
Then two is you can use cloud formation. Shout out to Tim. So if I use something, once I do it, I just tear it down. Then I got these scripts to spin it back up when I need to use it again. So when I tear it down, I don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
Right. So those things you can do. So you can save a lot of money, especially when you're teaching yourself. It's dirt cheap. But shout out to Citizen Lou. He got a bill for 40,000 because he wasn't watching what he's doing, and some hackers took over his account. So he got a 40 grand bill. So
What?
yeah, reach out to Citizen Lou. He told me the
Oh,
stories, but he pushed back. He's told him, I'm not paying this bill.
yeah.
But so I think he said they were doing crypto or something on this stuff.
Wow.
So
On his
you got to
account,
be
yeah.
careful. So yeah, so my first lab is gonna set up. How do you set up your environment so if your bill store because I got an AWS budget, so if it goes over $300, it's just gonna shut my whole instance down and send me an email. So
Yeah.
that's the first one I'm gonna do. So I won't end up like Citizen Lou. Shout out to Citizen Lou.
Oh man, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Well, see, somebody tried to hit me on one of my Linux servers on Google,
Oh yeah.
and I saw that and it wasn't even the server. It was I I don't like WordPress, man. I mean,
Oh.
it's just easy to set up though. You know what I'm saying,
Oh.
and run. But
Mm-hmm.
it has a whole bunch of vulnerabilities. They always patching WordPress because of the vulnerabilities that are out there. And yeah, somebody hit up one of my sites and tried to hack it. I saw all the files, I contained it all, and
Yeah.
rebuilt everything, you know what I'm saying, a while back, and put in some extra security or whatever so it
Yeah.
didn't happen again. But
Shout out to security. Shout out to
yeah.
yeah, Bentley and that time I put an alarm. I wanted to shut down because if it's alarm at night, I might miss the alarm. They can run up to 20 grand real quick. So
Yeah.
I wanted to shut it down, Bentley. But I feel you. I needed to shut down. I want an alarm. I want my stuff to shut down. Then send me the alert. So now Tam's right. You can do GitHub, checking code, checking keys. So I
Yeah.
he didn't really break down how they got him, but he was very adamant. So
Hmm. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. 40,000 though, man. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I knew that could happen, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they say if you spin it up, and that's why I made sure I got another IP address after doing that live stream I did showing the IP address for that server I put up
yeah,
there. That I
facts, facts.
used last night to set up that VPN server because I didn't do much for security on that server at all, other than just update it. Did some updates to the patch into
Yeah,
Ubuntu, but I didn't I didn't do anything. So I just went on
yeah,
and got another IP.
yeah. WordPress. One of my clients use WordPress, and I'm serious. I keep track of vulnerabilities at least twice a month. I'm sitting him down. Are you using this module? Are you using this
Mm-hmm.
plugin? What we looking like on our WordPress? And for us
Mm-hmm.
too, is we use it internal. It's not even outside, but I still worry about like, are we using this plugin? So
Yeah.
it's kind of buggy, but like you said, it's number one, and that's one reason because it's number one, so it's an easy target because it's easy to set up. All the content creators love it. It's got the plug-in and the wrappers and the frames you can use out the box to make it look nice. But
Yeah.
um,
That's what's up, man. Oh, hold on, man. So somebody just notified me basically saying, Mr. Awesome, he says, is that Nipsey Hussle Officer Tatum video supposed to be in the Linux server tutorial playlist? And no, it's not supposed to be. I'm gonna have to go look in my playlist. Hold on. Or they talking
go
about
check it out.
chairs? Oh, they talking about chairs or they talking about mine?
Awesome, Mr. Awesome. Whose playlist are you talking about?
Cause I don't
I thought
remember
I thought
seeing
you
that.
said Linux.
Yeah, he did say Linux. So let
Make
me
sure
go to
you
my
go check your
channel because
playlist.
he got me worried now, man. And I'm like,
Somebody come to get you.
yeah,
But McKinley, I don't know. I need to reach out to my man. I'm assuming MFA was on my all my accounts on AWS has MFA on, even though I'm using them all. But yeah, so I don't know, Mr. Man. Me and him's gonna do a probably along with KeepItTechie, a traveling, what does he call that? Where you can travel and program from wherever you're at. He was a cool name, because I think Linux is something you can do remotely and make money, and you shouldn't have to go in the office. So, digital nomad. So we're gonna chop it up about digital nomad. What
Oh
jobs you
yeah.
can do remote? Because my man's in Mexico a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
I thought Linux will be super high on that list. So
Yeah, and also I don't see that course. I mean
no,
that video in my course,
is
man.
that
I'm
me
not
and
sure.
mine?
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
go
see it
look
in
at mine.
yours either. But it's
Okay,
okay. Yeah.
I'll check it out
Yeah. I'm gonna
later.
have to look as well. He does say
Yeah,
my Linux server tutorial playlist. Oh, I think I know what playlist he talking about. Let me try to
okay.
find it. But
No, that's cool. I
anyway,
got a lot of playlists. Go ahead.
yeah, and I try to hide the because I'm a hip hop fan too, so I like videos and all that stuff. And you know how Google will
Right.
add it to a playlist or something like that. I
Yeah.
try to hide some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
got about 50 playlists, but you can only the public see about six. So sometimes I'm
Hmm.
making sure I'm not accidentally making stuff visible that shouldn't be
Yeah.
visible to
Yeah.
the general public. Yeah. But AB Media, you right. WordPress is easy. It's just from a
Yeah.
security perspective. Um, there's a lot to be desired there.
Hmm.
So I think for the easy use you get, I give up a lot of security, but we just got to make that work and balance that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to let's see, there's a couple other people. McKinley Bentley, yeah, he's right, putting up the alarm. I think you mentioned that as well. Use
Mhm.
GitLab, GitHubs to check in code. That's from Sam. See over in the building. What's up, man? He's a big YouTuber.
Facts, man.
What's
Every
up,
time I
man?
see his setup, man, I just be feeling like I'm just starting from the bottom, man. He got the lights, the sound, he got all the
Oh
technology.
yeah, yeah, he's doing it. Knocking. Oh man, Tam. No,
Don't say
Tam.
no, just take it, man. That's Big Tam. Don't leave her. Just take it and take your wife
Okay.
out to dinner, man. That's all
All
you need to
right.
do. Shout out to Tam putting in
Appreciate it,
work.
Tam.
Your wife
Appreciate
is
it,
in
Tam.
the chat. Y'all going to lunch
Yeah.
dinner on Tam. I'm spending your money. Dinner on Tam.
I
Shout out to
appreciate
Tam
it.
now.
Yeah. And Gail at night, appreciate it as well. I definitely appreciate it.
The best
Yeah.
moderator in YouTube. She be
Mm-hmm.
helping out the poor people like me. I can't pair yet, but she be jumping on my channel, getting people in line, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to her, man.
And Charles Shear in the building. What's up, my man? How you doing? Yep. He's always motivational over there on Twitter, man. So make sure you check him
Shout.
out as
I gotta
well.
get on a little Twitter a little more, man. They be a little mean on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah.
They be trolling and dragging people. I'm too old to be getting dragged on
Yeah,
Twitter. So
yeah.
shout out to Twitter.
I try to limit my Twitter,
Facts.
usage, because you
Facts.
can get caught up in a whole bunch
Easy,
of stuff
man.
over there. Yeah.
You know.
So,
Facts.
but anyway, let's get back on. Let's see, AWS. So, um, as far as jobs, what other? Well, you said you basically said that the jobs that are on prem are basically up there. So
Mhm.
speaking of those types of jobs, or do you think a lot of them are remote, or do you think they're gonna go to like remote when it comes to those type of AWS jobs more?
I
Or
think those, yeah, I pause a little bit. I think those jobs are remote and can remote.
mm-hmm.
I work with a lot of older guys who have MBAs, and their whole thing of management is rah rah. They want to see you and touch you.
Yeah.
So I think you're gonna get that transition where I work, my agency, they want everybody to come back to work. The governor of the state said everybody, because I'm a consultant at a large state agency, he told everybody to come back because he wants the restaurants downtown saved, and he wants you to go out and eat. And he shuts down the cafeteria on a good day. You can't go. He wants you to go out and spend your money in the
Mm-hmm.
downtown to save, which from a governor's perspective, that makes sense. But my my millennial friends are highly upset that
Yeah.
they got to come in. They family work life balance. So I think that's a age thing, and I think I was gonna say country thing, but I think it's just an age thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, old people think they need to be around you to manage you and see you,
Cause
right? And
that's
I was
that's what
joking with
they've
my boss.
seen, long,
Yeah, I
growing
joke with
up.
my boss. I like you laid out my plate, so you know what I'm working on, right? So, like I said, I think it's a cultural old thing versus a
Mm-hmm.
new millennial thing.
Yeah, and that's true, man. A lot of those guys. Um, that's the only way you could work, you know.
Right.
Coming
The
up, you know what I'm
right.
saying? You had to be in the office.
Right. And the weird thing is we've been talking about working remote for 30 years hard. I mean, even when I
Hmm.
was in my 30s, but the pandemic really forced that, right?
Yeah.
So and they proved they can work. So now the question is, why can't we work, right? And my big boss, I asked the president of our company because we cool, and he was like, "Oh, we get better synergies when in the office. People communicate better. You can see if people are confused in their eyes." I'm like, well, we spend a lot of money on teams, big boss. But he was very adamant that people need to come in the office.
Hmm.
Once again, the millennials on my team were very upset, but I'm like, dude, when you in charge, you can make those decisions. He's in charge. And long story short, is one of our they call it information technology agencies that does a lot of tech. They're bleeding people because the millennials are leaving. If they can't work from home, they done put their stake in it. That's the hill they going, so they're quitting and going to other places that are allowing remote work. So
Hmm. Now, is that I know you brought it up. You were saying that's something you was thinking about doing while going through this training is to get into actually a AWS job. Have you been looking? Because I know you
yeah,
say you teach and all that stuff.
yeah. My
Like do
main
you?
job is though is
Mm-hmm.
I'm a consultant, and long story short is, which I had a 10-year run at a client, and the client said either I need to come work for them or my contract's going to terminate in June, which was cool because they gave me a plenty runway to find a new job. So I've been looking at AWS jobs along with security jobs, and shout out to Black Heights. I'm trying to get into sales because I help vendors come into the state agency because your security's got to meet a certain level to come in for your product to run in the state agency. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm doing it for them. I want 1% of sales
Yeah,
because a lot of sales teams here. So I'm trying to figure out, can I get some of that Black Height sales money? So
I
I'm
know,
trying to
right?
find a security engineer sales job. So I'm trying to mesh it all together. So I've been looking at AWS. Like I said, I have some friends there, and I know guys, Salesforce. I think I got an interview for director of compliance at Salesforce. So I got some things in the work. So I'm just trying to, figure out my next opportunity. But part of it is whoever I work with is going to have a huge cloud presence, so I can get better at those skills. So
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So since and you kind of already hit on it, but that was one
mm-hmm.
of my questions I had kind of jotted down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Linux is important in the cloud, right? To know,
Oh yeah,
just
especially for me because anything I can run, I'm gonna run Linux first before I run Windows. That's my operating system of choice. I'm an Oracle guy that runs on Linux. I'm a Java guy that runs on Linux. I'm a Apache guy that runs on Linux. I'm a Tomcat guy. All that runs much better on Linux with threading. And for me, the security model from an OS standpoint is much better. For me on Linux, it's a lot easier to secure. So yeah, I've been doing Linux forever though. So that is
hmm.
my OS of choice.
Yeah, yeah, and that's something I think is definitely a necessary skill, and I that's
Facts.
why I want to push it as well. You know what I'm saying, as much as I
Facts.
can.
I'm a Red Hat guy because it's the one the government certified first was Red Hat, so I'm a whole Red Hat guy. But a lot of
Hmm.
distros now, Ubuntu actually got certified to run FedRAMP in the cloud from a security perspective. It used to just be Red Hat, but they certified a lot more distros now on running government cloud. So
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, and that's yeah.
I'm
Uh.
a Stig guy, so Stig's
Hmm.
first came out on Red Hat, so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that's
Definitely.
why I'm a Red Hat guy, Stig guy. So
And yeah, I I removed that video. Thanks, Mr. Awesome. I went on gave you a wrench for that, man. I definitely appreciate you finding that issue. So I was able to remove that video, so I appreciate it. Um, now, hold on, it was something else. Oh, Charles Shear. I wanted to ask you this. Hey, I'm gonna have to bring you on again, Charles Shear, because I tried to install BSD I
Oh,
could
fine.
I couldn't get it going, man. I was trying to do it in a virtual machine, but I couldn't get it going. And sorry, I got
Okay.
so much stuff going on in my head. I'm thinking about
Oh, facts, facts. I'm late.
everything that's going on. Yeah.
Mhm.
But so is it anything else you wanna cover about your channel, or talk about, or
Just a
put
few
out
little
there?
things is
Yeah.
I'm 53, so I always call myself the elder. I gotta keep learning, I gotta keep grinding, don't stop. The way you get paid is no matter what your age, you gotta get new skills and new talents, right? When I first started, I did JCL on the mainframe. That doesn't really exist anymore. I did
Mm-hmm.
Power Builder. That doesn't exist anymore. So you just have to keep grinding, keep working, and the bag's out there for you, man. There's so many jobs. There's a 500,000 security jobs out there that's unfilled. There's probably 500,000 cloud jobs out there unfilled. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not going to be quick. There's going to be a few gatekeepers out there, but there's a lot of talent out here that's going to help you. Josh is throwing out good stuff. Tam is out there, and the Godfather Kev Tech's in the house
Oh
for the help
yeah.
desk. That's where a lot of people start out. Master IT's in the building, Tech G, Alpha Cyber. Man, there's just so many good
Yeah.
channels and good. And most of those people, when you reach out, you help them and tip them a little bit, man. Everybody like to have a good steak every now and then. Don't be cheap, people. Don't be cheap.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man. At a high level, old people got to get it, and young people got to get it, man. And there is no imposter syndrome. Everybody's a little nervous. Everybody's scared. If you get the skills, get your grind on, people gonna help you, and the Most High is gonna give you what you deserve.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree, man. Couldn't have said it any better, you know what I'm saying? And shout
Hold
out
on,
to Kev Tech. Oh, go
I
ahead.
real. I am Novell's Network certified, Charles. I'm that old. Go ahead. Yeah. I am Novell Network certified. That's how that was before all the Cisco and all the good network. I am Novell Network certified. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only heard of Novell. I
Oh, that's
never
before
actually
your
played
time. Seriously,
around
I'm
with it.
thinking, yeah, I'm
Like
thinking
I've
that
seen
was
some
night.
systems. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I think that was 2007. I think I got my certification in
Okay.
Novell. It's old, but it was good for its time back then.
Yeah, I did a job for everybody know Robert Half. I did a
Oh,
job for
facts.
Robert Half a long time ago, and it was for a bank. I think it was Bank of America. They were moving one of their financial buildings, they main building out here in Las Vegas, to a new building, and they had a whole bunch of Novell systems that they were shutting down and getting rid of or whatever. So I I've only seen it. I never really actually
Oh
used it.
yeah.
So
Everybody ripped that out. But real quick, Mr. Awesome, he said, "Do you fellas think military is a good path?" I'm gonna go
oh, go
first
through it.
because I don't. I think that's. I wish I would have done. That's a great path. Then two, a lot of times, and Josh gonna chime in on that. When you're in the military, they give you a security clearance. I worked on those bases. If you're from the military, they give you points. You get like 10 points, so you move up in the line of jobs to get it. If you're from the military, if somebody's a little better than you or even half better than you, the military guy probably get the job. So no, that's
Hmm.
definitely a place, especially if you get those security clearance. Chime in on that, Josh.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely harder to get a clearance if you wasn't in the military. When you get in the military nowadays, most every job is gonna require
Yeah,
you to have a clearance. So
yeah,
you gonna
yeah. I got a
get that
quick
clearance
story.
for free. Oh, go
Yeah, I know
ahead.
you
Go
trying to
ahead.
shut it down.
Nah,
This guy was
you
not.
good?
He. I ain't gonna say he wasn't smart, but he was kind of low rung on the team. He the only one could go into this Virginia installation because it needed a top security clearance with Poly.
Yeah.
Nobody had it but him, so he went in and called people on the phone to tell them what to do because he was
Mm-hmm.
the only one could go in the building.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And when you get into the jobs in the military, yeah, you're gonna get that clearance, and you definitely get that veteran preference. That's what they call it. And speaking of Kev Tech, you brought him up. He just interviewed Cisco soldier Uncle Trey,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, I saw that. I was
yeah,
peeking on that in the clouds. I saw that.
yeah,
I was looking at him and Tam at the same time. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And he's still currently in the military as well. I interviewed him a while back as well.
Mhm.
So he puts out a lot of great information to help people transition, into IT from the military. And I haven't been in the military in a while. Like I got out back in 2019. So a lot of my, I guess, knowledge or whatever I could give you
Mhm.
advice that are for people that are in, it's probably not valid anymore. But he's still in, and I think he's the first one. So, if
Mhm.
you don't know, that's high up. And so I'm sure he has access and have a lot of information he could put out there to help people that are in the military. But to answer your question, Mr. Awesome, because I really didn't answer it. Do you fellas think the military is a good through path to get into IT? Yes, I 100% agree.
Touch on
It
that GIB a little bit, because
Yeah.
as a professor, I got a sign that they're coming to class and they're making progress in there. So I sign stuff, but I know a lot because you can do boot camps with your GI Bill. The GI Bills open up a lot more too. Chime in
hmm
on that, keep it techie.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Yeah, the GIB you get free school. It's not free because you putting
You
in the
earned it.
work for the military, but it is free. You know what I'm
You
saying?
getting shot at.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna get in, you know what I'm saying, and do that.
And I
And
work with a lot of people start off early enough where they retired. Then
hmm
some of that retirement go towards your civil job. Then they came back as a consultant. They were
yep.
triple dipping, man, and they wasn't that old either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you go in early. So
If you retire, you can get a bigger retirement by hopping on DOD side.
oh,
They'll take that time that you did military and add it to your DOD
mm-hmm.
time if you go Department of like a DA civilian or a DOD civilian. You know what I'm saying? They use your military time as part of your retirement and add a stack on top of that basically, and you get a
Facts,
bigger
facts.
retirement. And then also contracting game. That's something
Oh,
I've been doing as well. A lot of people will go
facts.
into the military and you build those relationships in the military, especially once you
Mm-hmm.
start moving up in rank. Once you retire, a lot of these jobs, contracting jobs, they look for people that have been in the military or at least a E6 in the military, which is a staff sergeant or
Yeah.
whatever it is in the other branches. All I know is the army. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, real quick on that, we gonna have to,
hmm
we gonna be all night. Is
Yeah. Hey,
I
they
work
they
with
opened up a
I
can of worms on
yeah, I work with guys that were up there with, sergeant. I work with actually a two-star general. They hire those guys for big consultings like Oracle, PwC, is because they can walk in people's office to figure out what you're working on so they can bid on it. I used to work for Lockheed Martin as a sub. I go to
hmm
their office thinking they're going to be a lot of programmers and essay. He looked at me like I'm crazy. He goes, "We award contracts and we sub it out." Basically, he says we control the money and sub it out to the little people. That's what Lockheed Martin told me.
Yeah.
They don't have it because those contracts is 100 million. You got to have national wide. You got to
Oh
be
yeah.
known in the Pentagon. So they have those people on staff. So they win 100 million people, $100 million contract. Shout out to Tim. They're gonna sub all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times minorities get 10%. So I was
Yeah.
trying to get a little of that money too. But
Yep.
that's the high level for the contracting game. Go ahead, keep it
Yeah.
taking.
Nah, you right on point with it, man. I know a couple guys that have started business doing that. You know what I'm saying? And they hop into it via the subcontract because you basically using the main contractors.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's called. Whatever I'm gonna just say licensing or whatever it
Yeah.
is through
Mm-hmm.
they're vetted through the
Mm-hmm.
government already. So you
Right, right,
using that by being a sub. So
right.
especially if you're a new business and all that stuff, that's definitely a way to get into government contracting as well. Cause just to throw that out there, just like what you said, Professor Black Ops, they're required and
Mm-hmm.
not that they just um say, oh, I'm a subcontract this out. The government puts stipulations on those
Mm-hmm.
contracts, basically saying you have to subcontract out 20% of
Mm-hmm.
these positions or 30% of these
Yeah.
positions on the contract. So that's definitely a thing, you know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
can get into it as long as you get, everything you need in order to set up a business doing government contracting. With the
True.
EIN number and all that good stuff.
Yeah, they got veterans, women's,
hmm
minorities, LBGTQ. Everybody got a section
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Women owned. Everybody get a
hmm
piece. So yeah, you just got to
Yep.
get make sure your business is up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm a veteran, and then I'm gonna put my wife
Facts.
on there as a.
Well, let me know. I know this one guy. He's actually disabled. He's a veteran. I'm gonna get him on his channel. He makes a ton of money, man. I always
Okay.
tell him if I need a job, I'm a hook because he's got stuff in Right Pat. He's in the Midwest though. He's got some stuff
Okay.
in Right Pat. I think he's got a few things in Virginia, but yeah, he. I remember when he was just a small business analyst, man, and he got
Mm-hmm.
a government contract and just ran with it,
Been
man.
running, yeah. I met a guy overseas that was doing it. He was subcontracted, and he found people, and hired them in those positions. With the All you gotta do is find somebody with a clearance, if it requires
But
for that position, and they'll pay you, and then you pay your employees.
facts, facts.
So yeah, it's definitely a thing. But shout out to everybody that came through. I see all you guys, a lot of people trickling in after that. When I was about to shut it down, and they asking great questions, you know what I'm saying, making it. Oh, and shout out for the super chat, Charles, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate the support. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go down and shut it down, man. Make sure you guys check out Professor Black Ops channel, man. I definitely appreciate him coming through and talking AWS. I um I I was gonna do a little bit more, but I got busy late last night trying to come up with some more questions. So I ran out, but I
It's
think
all
we
good.
covered a good enough to
We
get
got
people
it.
on the right path, and that's the
No
whole
doubt.
purpose of these things, to try to
Facts,
help
facts,
people and just talk about the possibilities
facts,
of
facts.
of actually getting into this, and what you need to do in order to get into it. So
Yeah, like I said, and I'll be partnering with you. Me and Tim's gonna do some automation stuff. Like I said, there's
okay,
so many good channels in here, so it's all good.
definitely. Definitely, definitely. So shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to my man Professor Black Ops, and you guys already know what I say at the end, but keep it techie. I'm gonna have to get you to start saying it with me, or get the person I'm interviewing to say it with me at the end. We're gonna be like, keep it techie.
That'll be. I would do it. I would do
Yeah,
it.
for sure. All right, Professor. I mean, hang on, Professor Black Ops.
Okay,
But
I'll
shout
hang
out to
on.
everybody, and I appreciate you guys coming through. Peace.